segment here because this ties into what we're talking about now. Chips in the body connecting with a mark to the brain, which is all a part of God's plan. So just keep that in mind. We want to save as many lost souls as possible before they meet their imminent demise and eternal separation with the beast, as well, it tells us in the Bible will happen. So let's get into this. So Ray Kurzweil wrote this book called The Singularity. Like and share this, ladies and gentlemen, 1000X, which talks about the merger, the transhuman merger of man with machine. Human beings merging with technology and then becoming like a new alien species with technology. Now, I've argued for years that the elites have already connected themselves with these devices like the Neuralink, of which Elon Musk is in charge of, and there's other companies like it, some funded by Peter Thiel and others, that are attempting to hardwire chips, microchips, and emitted in this podcast nanobots with the cerebral cortex, which he describes as a pyramid that will be hardwired to the brain. So you can download books, speak multiple languages, you can become transcendent like the movies, you can create replications of yourself, AI, artificial intelligence, replications of your consciousness into infantum, so that these people attempt to find the fountain of youth and they attempt to live forever. But here's what's radical about this podcast, which I encourage you to listen to, because all of this is out in the open, ladies and gentlemen. They always tell you what they're going to do. Ray Kurzweil admits, and he's talked about this before, but in a lot more depth on this podcast, which I'll include a link at the end of this video, that it's actually nanobots, microscopic nanochips that will be floating through your body that will actually provide the lace, the link to the Neuralink that goes into people's brains in the future, which I believe to be the mark of the beast. And I mean, how could it not be? It says it's going to be in your right arm and then right straight in your forehead. Now, of course, what's crazy about this and radical about this is what they said was nuts in a conspiracy theory years ago, 10 or 15 years ago, when I warned about this, now is just what they're going to do. You see how that worked? No, everyone's going to be microchipped. Everyone's going to have a Neuralace. Everyone's going to have nanochips inside their body and these little robots roaming around. And of course, everybody's going to take the mark in their forehead because we said so. We don't believe in God. And of course, we're in charge. Everybody's going to do it. It's going to be cool. You're going to download languages. You're going to be able to play video games in the metaverse. And all is going to be a bed of roses. And in addition to that, because they control all the narrative and distribution of information, nobody's allowed to ask any questions. So for example, Lex Friedman, who's an MIT guy and is very smart, and I enjoy his podcast, kind of like I enjoy Joe Rogan's podcast, but these guys can never ask an intelligent, combative question of their guests because it's not allowed. And we don't have competing narratives in the United States anymore. It's non-existent. You're not allowed to ask questions about what these people are going to do. So Lex Friedman just sits there and allows Kurzweil to speak as he basically describes a dystopic hell of the general direction of humanity and how all the things that not just people like me have been warning about, people like you, but what it even tells us in the Bible is where they're leading us to. The second point that Ray Kurzweil made, which is absolutely huge, and I'll have to pick my words very carefully as well on this one, is regarding this right here. He admits that they simulated that, okay, the contents of this within 2 days. Within 2 days running high-level computer simulation that tested the genes. Who also told you this? I did. I told you this whole thing was a simulation. Of course, supercomputers and D-Wave computers have already run these simulations on human populations, population growth. This runs into media propaganda, all the frameworks of control, brainwashing, psychological warfare, the food supply, energy transition, water supply. All of these things have been simulated. Now, Ray Kurzweil admits this was simulated, the contents of it, in 2 days by running high-intensity simulations via supercomputers that determine, based on genes, what would be the best solution for this. So he admits that as well. And he also says it's the future of medicine and everything else regarding the human body. That's only what I can say. So hopefully you catch the drift here and understand.
All right, Shalom. Start off by saying, Ka halayim la Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Harakakodash Ma'ama. Double honors to the elder apostles of the great millstone and my elder Herawan as well. Salutations to the Akin that are pushing the truth and sincerity and truth. And peace and blessings to the men, women, and children that believe in the name of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. All right, so as you can see from the video clip that I played from your boy over Christopher Green, um, you know, prophecies are in the making, man. You know, we've been speaking about these things for years, dealing with the MOTB and what it consists of, the CHI to the P, and how that thing in the arm, you know, was a precursor or a test trial run of what they're actually trying to do. You know, so we've been speaking about this for years, man. You know, the true men of the Lord aren't denying it. They're not saying that it's sin. They're not saying that it's a philosophy. They're not saying all these different perverse things. They're saying it is what it is, man. All right, and that's what the men of the Lord have been doing in the name of Yahweh by Shem Shai, saying it, warning the people, because that's what we're commissioned to do. Lord willing, I'm part of that number of the elect, man. All right. So I ain't gonna make this too long. I'm just gonna get a couple scriptures going into it based upon what the clip was saying, man. Because we're almost at the end of this thing. There's no time for me to be like anybody to be bullshit and pussyfooting around. It is what it is. Give the statements clear as day so people can have a right to make a choice, man. Don't make that opportunity for it. Give them the opportunity. If they refuse to hear, then that's on them. But make sure they're telling the people correctly, man. All right, the second Ezra chapter 15 and 1, it says, Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord. Cause them to be written on paper, for they are faithful and true. And that's the words of Yahweh Bashim El are faithful and true. And they're going to be salvation unto the elect and destruction unto two-thirds of our people. All right? And it says, For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. Right. So the ones that are faithful to Yahweh Bashim El are the ones that are going to be preserved all the way to the end. All right. Next scriptures I want to get is Ezekiel chapter 3, verse 17. It says, Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore hear the words at my mouth and give them warning from me, man. And that's what it is about warning the people, man. Yahweh Shema Shai is about to bring destruction on this place. And he wants to make sure everybody has fair warning before he brings that wrath down. And it's up to the job of the true prophets to go out here and on the highways and byways and make these videos and prophesy in sincerity and in truth, man. Because people need to, you know, if the trumpet give an uncertain sound, who shall prepare themselves for the battle? So you have to give off that perfect that proper vibration of Yahweh in order for the people, they will have no excuse in that time. All right. It says, When I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning, nor speakest to warn the wicked from his wicked ways, to save his life, the same wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I acquire at thine hand. So that's also ultimately, if whoever hold their sword back from blood, man, it's gonna be cursed. So that also goes into not speaking the correct way. So if you're out here promoting lies and not informing the wicked righteously, they don't have a way to turn back. They don't, you know what I'm saying? So that's Yahweh Shah is going to require that on your hand. So those that deceive that deceive people shall receive many strikes, man. And those strikes are going to be from Yahweh Shah. All right. I want to get a couple more scriptures to close it out. Because we're almost at the end of this thing, man. And people need to know, man. People need to know what's to come and what we need protection from, man. This is Revelation chapter 3, verse 10. It says, all right, verse 9, it says, Behold, I will make them the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. All right, those are those fake Jews that are over there in our land today. That's promoting this enterprise. That's coming up with this whole NWO system that they're trying to create Satanism throughout the whole earth, man. And so they won't have to do it in secrecy anymore. It says, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee. Right. The Lord's going to let them know that he loved us, not them. But they got it twisted. They think that the Lord has forgotten about it. But the Lord's going to take the crafty in their own craftiness to give salvation unto the elect. And this is the point. Verse 10, it says, Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon the whole world to try them that dwell upon the earth. And I remember when I first came into the truth, man, Apostle Howard put it out there for everybody to do a lesson on what was our temptation, man. That was about 10, 11 years ago. You know, about 10 years ago when I first came in. I didn't do a lesson on it, but my elder he did a lesson on it, and that was when that's when I first knew what the MOTB was. That's when it was first exposed to me. Learning from the elder and the apostles, man. But this is serious, man. This ain't no man. Man, this devil. Let me see, man. This devil. This devil's trying to get it down, man. And he's trying to take whoever he can take with him. This is Revelation 12:12. It said, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them." Right. You know. So who has their mind stuck in these places? The ones that have their mind separated from these places. We're rejoicing with the holy angels, man, and the spirit of Yahweh Shem outside. So woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. Right. So anybody that got their mind stuck on this place trying to reap benefits from this place, you're going to be consumed right along with it, man. It says, "For the devils come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time." A short time to do what? All right. This is Revelation chapter 13, verse 16. And I'm going to close it out with this because this is a major point. This is what we need to be warning our people of, man. It says, "He causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead." All right. So that's exactly what the dude was explaining in the video, man. And the arm was a precursor to that, man. All right, Shalakia for that. But yeah, the elders and the apostles have been talking about this for years, man. And the people need to be warned, man. They need to know what the MOTB is, man. It's the CHIP, the RFID technology that they're trying to implement. They're trying to turn humans into robots, man. They show it to you in all these movies and things like that. And it's getting to the point where they're not even subliminally hiding it anymore, man. You got Neuralink and all these other kind of companies that are manufacturing all these type of different devices to put inside the human flesh, you know. So I mean, it's all according to this devil's wicked agenda, man. Revelation 13 and 16, it says, "And he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand and in their forehead, and that no man might buy or sell save he that have the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name." Right. But the Lord said he's going to deliver us from that, man. All right, I'm going to get one more scripture to close it out. I'm going to get Psalm 91 and 14. Slakia. This is Psalm chapter 91, verse 14. It says, "Because he hath set his love upon me, therefore will I deliver him. I will set him on high because he hath known my name." That's why the name of Yahweh Shemel Shai is so important. That's what's going to give us deliverance. Faith in his holy name and faith in his dear son. All right. So our mind is set. It said, "Woe to the rejoice ye heavens and ye that dwell therein." Our mind is our love, is our affection is set upon Yahweh Shemel Shai, who are sitting in the heavens right now, man. Waiting on what Yahweh Shai is waiting on the day for the Father to tell him, go get mine elect. All right, verse 15, it says, "He shall call upon me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him." And what's that troublous time that's coming? Time of Jacob trouble. And within the time of Jacob trouble, you're going to have the hour of temptation, man. And the Lord's going to deliver the elect out of all that. It says, "With long life will I satisfy him and show him my salvation." And that's the point. And he said, "Because we kept the word of temptation, he shall also keep us from the hour of temptation." All right. Lord willing, this vessel is edified to serve his purpose with that. Like Kal Halayim, by Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Harakah Kodash, my double honor to the elder apostles of the great millstone, and my elder here one as well. Salutations to the argument of the push of the truth, to sincerity and truth, and peace and blessings to the men, women, and children. I believe in the name of Yahweh Shai. Shalom.